Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Matthew Gorham. In this video, I'm going to be doing a review of this Rut Manufacturing 28-inch disc mulcher. I ran it for about 4 hours yesterday, and I probably ran it for maybe 2 hours before that in this area. I just want to walk through real quick and show you kind of what it did. There were a ton of these small trees, some of which I knocked down, and it's really hard to shred the branches once they're on the ground. I intentionally didn't shred this up because I knew I was gonna have to make a burn pile anyway. So some of these, like this one probably got knocked down and I shredded up a little bit, just enough so it would lay flat. Yeah, so if you can imagine, there was a lot of like sticks. So a lot of sticks just coming out like this, a lot of maple, a ton of elm, a ton of hickory. And I'm trying to leave these evergreen types. Like this size is way too big to get with the brush, the mulcher. This oak tree I left. I'm trying to leave the oaks and the cedars as much as I can. This cedar tree I left, this cedar, like you can see how wispy it is. It was completely covered with, oh, that's a little poison ivy vine growing up it. You can imagine this whole section right here was trees, and now it's just, you know, little branches and mulch. And the thing is, once you like top the tall tree, you know, the top's gonna fall down and you can't really do much with that. That's most of what you see laying around. But then on the stem, you can just trim it down systematically, and it turns into like this type of stuff, which should break down pretty quickly. Here's a stump that's left. Most of them I got down to ground level. I just walked up on a deer over here. It blew and I said, wow, that's crazy. It's right over there. Anyway, first order of business for today is to get on the tractor with the grapple, and I'm gonna make a big burn pile right here.
Like I said with the text in the beginning, I've got over 40 hours with this mulcher. I've done about 2 acres worth of thinning. Really anything 6 inches or below I've taken out all the way with this mulcher. The larger stuff you can cut out in sections. And I went with this mulcher over the drum style mulcher because it's lighter. Supposedly you can get through material quicker. I don't know that for a fact, but if Rut wants to send me a mulcher to test, I will test it. I'd pay for the freight even. Also, the cost was a big factor. This is $6,000 where the drum mulcher's $18,000, so a 3 times price increase.
All right, I'm gonna start here with some real time. We got this one, a 2-inch, another 2-inch, 2.5 at the base. 1 inch, 1 inch. The big one back there is like 6 inches at the base. I guess I don't have to yell, I've got a mic now. All right, let's fire this machine up. This is the first time I'm cranking it today. Oh, baby. It seems like these little poles are harder to deal with because they like to flop around. But you can really get after it. I've probably got about 6 hours on this implement total. That one's down. It looks like it's a little bit above ground. Everything else I'm too far away from, so I should have got a little bit closer. Let's see if I can take this. I don't know if you can see up there, but the top of that tree is still up there. Yeah, full throttle, it works pretty great. Now, I need to move again. So this grapevine right there. You definitely don't want to tilt it back towards you. It can really mess things up. I think I've had one rock hit the windshield, and luckily it was tiny. mulch stuff as I go. I'll get back to this little stump. Whoa, that was a rock. And the stump's down. Momentum stays pretty decent.
At this point in the timeline, I'm still pretty green. Still got a lot of learning to do on this thing. I had the problem at first of being too far away from the work. I also had it tilted at an angle. The closer you can be to horizontal, the better. The less material you actually have to chew through.
You just want to keep it kind of on that outside edge so it's throwing away from the machine. And sometimes if you try to grind it with the bottom teeth, it goes down to the middle. Gets like hung up in there, you gotta back out. But all these, it's like all these little shreds, it like shreds it. It doesn't make like wood chips from a chipper, it makes little shreds. That stuff's gonna decompose really well. That bogged it out a little bit. You kind of have to angle it back to get the stump down right, which is kind of tricky. This is the bigger maple. I really need to scoot forward just a hair. I'm going to try to go as high as I can so we can shred most of this stuff.
My strategy early on was to shred as much of the stem as I could. Later on the bigger stuff, anything greater than 6 inches, I'm just cutting into sections and putting on the burn pile.
Oh, I got some wood chips back at the window.
Look at that angle. Think of it like you're cutting with a chainsaw. You don't go diagonal like that. You want to go straight across. But the other thing you have to factor in is the backsplash. So there's a trade-off there.
So on these bigger poles, I try to go down the right side and then come back. Kind of roll off the right here, so that you're not actually eating through the whole thing at once. Because the side teeth cut better than the bottom teeth. And I kind of keep it angled up and out. Now it's started to slow down a little bit. It's down to probably 4 inches right there. Keeps momentum pretty well. Oh, jammed it. Jammed it up. I don't have full stops a lot, but if I do, it's probably on these larger stumps. You really gotta just finesse it at this point. And that's probably, what, a couple inches above grade, right there.
This maple top over here was propped up on another tree, and I was able to cut it in 3 sections that I could later pick up with the grapple.
Well, I want to cut this one down. These are big boys over here. And that one's leaning back towards me. Whoa, that one's shut down the hydraulics. I think this machine's good about when it gets over torqued, it just turns off. This is the biggest size tree you can do comfortably. Of course, it's a hardwood. Elms are known for being very stringy. Just gotta kind of take your time with it. Oh, it almost shut it down there. And the worst part is having these tops just laying around, because then you can worry about them getting in your tracks and whatnot. But all right, that one's down to the ground. Just for a visual, it's about an 8-foot piece right here. I came in and went down on it right here, and it split this. So this will be easy to put straight on a burn pile. I'm gonna take out all these smaller ones. It's super rough, but it does clear out the small trees. And then this area I cleaned up earlier. I got these piles, and it's pretty nice. I mean, I did this all with the grapple. Didn't use any handwork or anything, and these piles will be ready to burn in about a month. Little stuff like this, it'll all have to be grappled up. So it's definitely not a finished mulcher. I knew that when I bought it. I knew I'd have to do this. Because I'm out in the country, I'm not worried about overspray or anything, so yeah. All right, nothing else.
One thing this mulcher really shines at is pruning extra large trees. You can get lollipop all the bottoms with this thing, and you can get pretty close actually. Any kind of scrubby brush, privet, you know, little bushes, stuff like that, small trees, it just eats right through, and you can grind it to nothing where it is finished. This giant privet right here, I just totally erased with this thing. Awesome. It's also really nice being on this excavator. You can basically just get anywhere and selectively harvest what you want to harvest, if you know what I mean. And you can see back in there how dense the canopy is. And in my next video, you'll see how opened up it is. And man, it's so cool to be able to do that. You know, I could easily just rip all this stuff out with the bucket, all this small stuff, but then you don't have the mulch, and it also, you know, your piles are super huge whenever you go to burn. You just have massive piles that you have to burn, all the residue. This mulcher is great. It's a tool in the tool set. I recommend it. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. Y'all see this little pine tree over here? I save it. It's still there. Once you get some seat time with this implement, you can really pick and choose what you want to take out. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. It's dinner time. It's time for me to knock off. We'll see you guys in the next one. We outie.